Hey guys, welcome back to From Hoe to Heart Surgeon. I am Ashley, an aspiring cardiothoracic surgeon. I am currently in nursing school right now, continuing my journey. If you didn't watch the first video, please, you have to go back and watch the first video of my life story so you can see where we are, so you can get caught up. So let's continue. So where we left off was my friend that had sexually molested me. Can I say that? I don't know. Where we had left off, but that's where the fuck we left off. I know, like, YouTube is funny with shit. You can't say certain words. I mean, I'm not getting monetized yet. Let's put that out there. But yeah. So yeah, that's where we left off. So bam, fast forward. So that was the summer of me about to go to ninth grade. So when I went to ninth grade, I went to a whole different school. I went to a public school. In fact, my aunt and uncle who raised me, that I live with, my uncle, this was the same high school he actually graduated from. So yeah, so ninth grade, honestly, I don't remember. It's not that I don't remember, it's just not so much happened. Of course, it was an eye-opener. I met this girl, she was really cool. I was hanging out with her. She was a straight whore, but she was lost, and she didn't have any like self-esteem, and she was like way faster than me. So like, the most I did was like kiss someone. Like, I had never did anything too sexual with anybody before. But she was already like sucking dick, catching nut, shit like that. So in fact, one time I went over her house, her parents wasn't home yet, which was a common thing for a lot of us. A lot of us were latchkey kids. And so her parents wasn't home. And so these two boys came over from school. I didn't even know. I didn't hear them. We was in the basement. Next thing I know, she come down with two niggas. I'm like, oh, hey, Mike and Ike, or whatever their names were. These boys were super popular, and you would never see them around her outside of that basement, okay? In school, I'm sure they probably didn't even talk to this girl, okay? So those two boys came down. Now that I'm an adult, it's kind of like by the grace of God, I'm happy of what happened. But her parents came home, and I don't know, no one even said anything. Her parents came home, they just walked out the back door. So clearly this wasn't the first time they had been there. But also, if her parents didn't come home, what was going to happen to me? Because, baby girl, I'm not sucking dick yet. Like, let me tell y'all some whole shit she did. So, like, this was like the first time I had experienced a friend doing some whole shit, because we all have that experience. You either got your first experience doing some whole shit, or when somebody else did some whole shit. And usually, I mean, I don't know now, it may come in middle school now, but mine was definitely in high school with this girl. So I would stay after school. My parents wanted me to be on the volleyball team because I'm tall. So I was forced to play sports pretty much my whole entire life, except from up until ninth grade. That's when my aunt wanted me to be on the volleyball team. She forced me to. I didn't like it. I'm not athletic. I don't care how tall I am. I don't care how long my limbs and my legs and I don't care about none of that shit. I have no desire to shoot hoops. I have no desire to put any balls through any holes. I have no desire to be in the NBA. I have no desire to model. All of my power is in here, okay? So I there's just never been a desire of mine to do none of that bullshit. But my aunt wanted me to live her dream of becoming some kind of, like, I don't know, she wanted me to go to Olympics, get a gold medal for track. I don't know why people run. I don't know why they enjoy running. I hate running. It reminds me of like running to catch the bus, but I don't like running. It gives me no joy, okay? So, bam. So, I was on this volleyball team, and so what I would do was I would just tell my parents I was going to the practices, and then I would just stay after school and just roam around school with my homegirl until they picked me up. So one day, so like the way that it was in school, so like by the gym, you had the locker rooms, okay? You know, the male locker room and the female locker room. But there was like a back door. You could come out of one of them. So you could go in one door and come out another way. So in the entrance of where the door was, it was like a cut, like in the cut. So it wasn't just a wall with a door. It was like this, right? So like you're walking, here's the wall, and then here's the doors right here. So you got to just go in this little cut. So if I'm in the cut, you can't see me, okay? So it was a boy, another popular boy. I'm like, how is bitch so unpopular but know all the popular niggas, right? Right? Remember, I'm ninth grade, I'm green. Green, baby, green. So we hanging out. So she like, yeah, bitch, go stand over there and keep watch. And let me know if somebody is coming down the hall. Y'all, when I tell you, I legit didn't know what the fuck she wanted me to keep watch for. I was just like, okay. So she went with the boy, right? So they both, they both in the cut or whatever. I'm down here. I'm just keeping watch. It's after school. It's not really too much activity over by the gym. She's probably over there a couple minutes. You know what I'm saying? Couple minutes, not long. And then she resurfaces, right? He goes this way, she come back to me. So I think I say like, oh, what happened? Or like, what did you do? And she's like, So I'm like, why didn't she swallow her drink? When you're like legit innocent, you really don't know like what's going on. You're not thinking like she just caught some nut publicly in the hallway. I'm not thinking that. So she like, So then when we go in the locker room, she spits it out and she says, I said, what? You swallowed his sperm? That just didn't even occur to me. Okay. So like, honestly, like, as like, I don't know, like when people start watching porn, but like, I mean, I was watching BET After Dark, you know, it real sex on HBO. That's about as far as my sexual escapades had went for me at 15, up until 15. So I remember I asked her, I said, how does it taste? And she said nasty. And that would be accurate. So yeah, so that was like my first experience, like being around like some like bona fide hoe shit, or like someone that was like a real whore. She was a good person, but we're not going to take away from the whorish activities that she was participating in. But I was right there with her, not participating. It was kind of like accidentally just being there. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, this is my friend, but hold on, bitch, I'm gonna go suck some dick real quick. Keep watch. It was that type of thing. So, it was another time I had went over her house, and these two dudes, they were both very popular, and came over, and I'm like, hey, and thank God her parents came home, because honestly, now thinking about it as an adult, just the fact that you knew, like, bitch, I was a whole virgin. Just the fact that you like knew that I wasn't nowhere near where you were, and you brought these two dudes over. What was you going to teach me, how to suck dick or something? Like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we were cool, but she would just do shit. You feel me? And so one time we were in class, we had a sub. So y'all ever had that sub? When you have the sub, oh bitch, it's about to be cracking in class today. We not finna do nothing, bitch. I'm finna braid your hair. I'm finna text. She was one of them subs. Like, everybody liked her. She was cool, whatever. She was like a permanent sub. So she was there throughout the whole school year. So one time we had a sub for like a week. So in my school, we had them A days, B days. So A days, you went to like 4 classes. B days, you went to the alternate classes. So she was our sub. She was our sub for like the week. So this was in chemistry class. So, in the back, they had like the burners. They had like the little tables with the little burners and the things. It was one of them. It was a chemistry class. So I remember, I don't know how it exactly happened, but I remember I had like a white, like little button up, white shirt with the little 3 little buttons, total white shirt on that day. And do y'all remember Fruitopia, for all of you guys of age? Fruitopia, baby. I miss Fruitopia, man. The tropical French Fruitopia, like, what happened, man? Like, the fuck? So, we had that delicious, sugary ass Fruitopia. And, so I remember it was an accident, but she was enjoying this accident too much. Somehow she got the Fruitopia all on my shirt. And then she, like, laughed about it. Like, she just thought it was hilarious. And I didn't appreciate that shit. Bitch, I got a white shirt on. And you got blood red juice on my shirt. And then you're not even like, oh my God, Ashley, I'm sorry. Like, you laughing about it with the other kids. I'm not a revengeful person. right? Even to this day, I'm not a revengeful person. I'm not the eye for an eye type of person. If you do something to me, I'm gonna purposely do something to hurt you back, because I believe in karmatic value. And if you hurt me and I hurt you, it doesn't balance the scales. It just makes me I'm gonna have some bad, I'm sorry y'all, these snacks. I can't. And you know they fly around your face because you breathe out the carbon dioxide, and they're attracted to the fucking carbon dioxide. Like, bro, I hate gnats. Anyway, and then I try to like put the cover and like try to like so they can't smell the carbon dioxide. That was a side note, but anyway, sorry, I got off track. So yeah, so she put that juice on my shirt and I was pissed. But every blue moon, baby, if I'm gonna get you, you better watch the fuck out. Because I am a Pisces. I can be a few sprinkles of water, or bitch, I can be a tsunami and crush your whole town. And them sprinkles was gone for the next class. She had really pissed me the fuck off with that bullshit, because she was almost like a frenemy type. So she, the next class, I had purchased a fruit punch, Fruitopia. And she had whatever shirt that she had on, right? And I went around one by motherfucking one, group by motherfucking group, in that chemistry class until no stone was unturned. And I told every motherfucking body, friend or foe, bitch, I'm about to pour Fruitopia on this bitch back. Okay? So she was on the desk like this. Y'all know when y'all like this, like my stomach hurt, like on the desk. So her whole back was exposed. So I was going to... That's exactly what the fuck I did. And I had the whole class looked, and I went right behind her and went like this. And poured that whole shit on her back. She jumped up screaming and said, "You bitch!" And I laughed. And we all laughed at that bitch. And she ran out crying. And I don't feel bad about it still, okay? Because, bitch, I got my lick back. Because what did you think? And that bitch went the rest of the day. And look, the sub, she gonna tell the sub, "Can I go get a shirt?" That ghetto ass sub gonna say, "Ashley didn't get no shirt when you poured the drink." Bro, the whole class, I had the whole class against this girl, okay? So you got to use your powers for good. That's why I don't use mine for evil. You got to watch how you use your power, okay? Because, yeah, we all have power. And that day, I had the power. I even had the teacher on my side because, bitch, fuck you. I don't know why that shit still gets my blood boiling when she got that shit on that white shirt. Because I already had enough issues in high school, boo-boo. Now I got to walk around with this blood stain, bitch. Come on now. So this bitch, she did go. She got her a t-shirt. She had to wear a gym shirt all day. Bitch. Anyway. And there was another girl. And this kind of like hurts my soul still, because you just never know how you affect people. And I don't know if she had other factors going on in her life, but there was this girl, her name was Rashida. Me and her was like this in 9th grade. I used to go over her house. Then she had this real funny cousin. He was from down south. Everybody loved him. He's still really cool. And so he lived with her. Everybody fucked with him. But Rashida, she was really sweet. She was so sweet, so nice. Like, we was just cool. Like, we were on that same level. She wasn't like sucking dick yet and all that crap. And so there was this other boy. There was this boy named Tyrone. And Tyrone was tall. And I was tall. And yeah, you know, he looked good or whatever. And she had liked Tyrone. Okay. A couple of us liked him. Let's just be real. A couple of us liked Tyrone. And so I also had another friend. See, listen, don't get mad at me because I got so many people. I can't name everyone because I'm going to forget so many names. But I had another friend who was also she was on more of a whorish level around that time as well. 9th grade, whatever. And I'll never fucking forget, bro. So I had one friend that liked Tyrone who was innocent. The other one was like the whorish one. She liked him. And then me, okay? So in class, right, one time I was in the English class with this teacher. This teacher was fucking off her Richter. She was crazy. She was an English teacher. But, and you remember them trailers? Remember when the school just said, fuck it, we're not going to add on to this building, just throw some trailers out and fuck these kids? It was one of them type of things. So I had some classes in the trailers, and it had, bro, was it 2 rows? So it was, y'all don't even know how they fit this in this trailer. It was 2 rows. So it was like 1 row, right? And then it was another row right in front of that row. And then it was a little bit of space for you to walk just down the middle, right? Just to get to and fro. And then right on the other side of that space, it was 2 more rows. So it was 4 rows, right? But it was separated in the middle, right? And so, of course, this was before all of, like, everyone had a phone. But this is back. Remember the Nextel? Everybody had the Nextels. Oh my God, I thought it was hot shit when I had a Nextel. Woo, baby, we'll get to that. That's when I was a senior, though. But anyway, I think this is kind of still when Nokia phones was popping a little bit, maybe. I'm not sure. But this is way before all that iPhone bullshit and all that. This is more around the older phase, before all that touchscreen shit. When you still had the phones with the full QWERTY keyboard, that type of shit. So I couldn't, like, text my friend, who was I trying to get his letter to? But basically, my friend that had liked, I was trying to give the letter to him. So me, Tyrone, and one of my horse friends, not the one I was telling you about, another girl, you don't, let's call her, Katie, whatever. So me, Katie, and Tyrone was in the class together, right? My innocent friend wasn't in this class. She was in another class. So I was trying to be on some bullshit and try to basically tell Tyrone, like, Katie's a whore, Katie's this, like, she's not a good person, like, you shouldn't be with her, basically, you need to be with me, okay? Mind you, this was not even in my character, but when you're in high school, you're trying to find yourself. Let's just be real, okay? You don't know who you are, who you're gonna become. Are you the whore? Are you the geek? Are you the nerd? Are you the quiet girl? Are you the cool girl? Are you the girl with the nice threads? Like, who the fuck are you? Who are you going to be? You have no fucking clue. And even if you were this person in high school, just because you were the nerd in high school, you could be nothing and unsuccessful as an adult or whatever, you know? All I'm saying is in high school, you don't know who the fuck you are, and you do a lot of fucked up shit sometime, or just crazy shit because you're trying to find out who you are. So that was one of those moments. And I had passed the letter to one girl in front of me. And then she had to kind of pass it across that little space. And it looked like she did it good, but the teacher intercepted. Took that motherfucking note, started reading that bitch out loud. Yo, I talked about that girl so bad. That teacher said, "Dear Tyrone." Then she said, "Ooh, Katie, I can't even read this out loud." Bruh. Yo. Katie Slam came up to me after class. She was like, "What'd you say?" I was like, "Girl, bitch, what the fuck?" I don't even know what I said to that girl. Some kind of straight lie. But I definitely didn't tell her, "Girl, I said you was a straight whore and you do this." I didn't say all that. But that's how bad it was. The teacher literally said out loud to the class, "I can't even read this out loud," okay? But it was definitely tea. Everybody was like, "Bitch, what did you what did you write?" So I kind of skated with that one, right? So eventually I did end up getting with Tyrone. At the expense of my friend, though. So the good friend, you know, who, like, we were so cool and everything, it hurt her. And she did not fuck with me for the rest of high school. She did not fuck with me the rest of 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, senior year. I remember when I went up to her for to sign my senior yearbook. She was never the same after that. Now, I hope it wasn't me that affected her all those years, but that's when I noticed the change in her. She just always seemed sad. I think, you know, she probably was obviously going through some other things, but till this motherfucking day, I always feel responsible. I mean, I am responsible for how I made her feel. Even though it was high school and it seemed so stupid, just like it still makes me mad that bitch had that juice on me and wasn't apologetic. And, you know, already knew I was getting teased in this. Like, why do you want to add to my misery? Even if it was an accident, at least act like you're apologetic. Who does that? And then you just laughing in my face like it's all cool. So same with her. Like, we were friends, and, you know, I crossed that line, and you're not supposed to do that, man. When your friend got dibs on a nigga like a nigga, that's that. You don't go and date him, you know. And her and Tyrone did date. So my friend and Tyrone did date. And then I think me and him were fucking around. It was kind of a little shisty, but it wasn't even worth it, man. It wasn't worth me losing a friend. That man married with kids with some other bitch. You know, it wasn't worth it. So yeah, so that was kind of like my 9th grade year. In a nutshell, you know, as far as like what I can really remember happened. 10th grade. So that's where I met my high school sweetheart. So I met him in band because I was in band camp, right? I gotta be cognizant of my time because I had to start the video over. But anyway, so I went to band camp before school started, right? You had to go to the band camp. You would learn the music, whatever the score was that you were going to perform that year. So I was a year ahead of him, and I wasn't in the band in 9th grade anyway. So at this point, I'm in 10th grade, he in 9th grade, coming into the school. I'm going to band camp. I see him for the first time. I'm like, he looked familiar, but I didn't know him, at least not in this lifetime. And once we said hello, it was like magnets, inseparable. Like, that was that, okay? So a little bit later, he asked me out. So y'all remember the sweatbands? You remember like the sweatbands you wear, like it may say like NBA or whatever, and then you have one on your forehead. So yeah, so I remember he used to have these sweatbands for some reason. And remember it had like the little piece of cardboard in it just so it wouldn't like fold over in the package. So I think he had gave me a sweatband or something. And then he kept saying like, did you open it? Did you open the sweatband? I'm like, no, not yet. So then when I got home, he called me like, did you open it? I'm like, why this nigga press over this goddamn, like, who cares? So when I opened it and I pulled the cardboard out, he had wrote on there like, will you be my girlfriend? I was like, oh, of course. So that was that. So I was like such a bitch to him in high school. I was mad spoiled. I remember he asked me what I wanted for Valentine's Day, and I told him I had wanted a bear, big ass bear, and I think like a digital camera, a bear, digital camera, and flowers. And you know what he got me? A bear, digital camera, and flowers. Okay. And I could not believe it. Like, this was like the first like kind of like I guess a real boyfriend I ever had. And then it's like, damn, this nigga really got me this stuff. Now, you know, my aunt and uncle, we kind of touched into them. They didn't like him. It was definitely like a Capulet Montague like type of situation. So they didn't like him. They didn't fuck with him. They didn't want me to be with him. He was kind of like the bad boy. You know, they felt like he's not going to go anywhere. He's not, you know, he's a loser. That's how they felt. And I can kind of see why they would have thought some of that stuff when I was in high school. Because at one point he did just like go all the way to the left. But I used to write him these letters, man. We used to write these letters to each other. More so me writing to him. Just about how I felt and everything. Just things I was going through and vice versa. I just always felt like real like comfortable around him. And so then we had our first kiss. So our first kiss was in our school. We had all the buses lined up in the front of the school. And so one day we just went for it, and it was horrible. But it was funny because it was fine after that. But that first kiss sucked. I think you just be nervous and you don't know how they're gonna kiss, and it's just yeah. But I was really happy, you know, with him. My home life, not so much. So you have to remember what I looked at and what I perceived a relationship was between a man and a woman. So obviously, like, I was of age at this point to know it's not normal that your parents don't sleep in the same bed, because I knew that all of my other friends' parents slept in the same bed. So I knew that wasn't normal. But also, like, so my aunt never showed affection to my uncle. I definitely showed affection to Vaughn, to my high school sweetheart. But my aunt never showed affection to him. Like, I think I already told y'all some of that. She would say, like, get your fat ass off me if he tried to hug her and stuff. But also, my uncle really doted on my aunt. So, like, I remember he started this thing with the flowers. So, fresh flowers, fresh roses on the table every week. He bought her all type of jewelry. The only jewelry I ever seen she wore from him were the diamond earrings that he got her from Tiffany's, just so she could tell everyone that she had diamond earrings from Tiffany's. And we ain't talking about no chandelier, but still, you know what I'm saying? A diamond is a diamond, bitch, okay? But basically he just doted on her, and he really didn't get nothing in return. Like, she didn't really, I wasn't seeing that back. Like, I don't ever remember my aunt like, oh, you really, you know, he's into this, so I'm gonna buy him a golf club. Or I'm never seen her just like go out of her way to get something. I even remember one Valentine's Day, he got her some tickets, and forgive me if I've said this before, y'all. So I can't remember everything I say in the first video, but he did get her some tickets to a show. It was a play. So y'all remember the butler from the butler from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Jeffrey, right? Jeffrey, him, the uppity one. Jeffrey was in the play. Do you know my aunt took me to the play? I'm pretty sure he got them tickets for you two. Why are you taking me to the play and not your whole husband? So I think some of that stuff I did pick up from her, like just the demanding, like, oh, what do I want? I want A, B, C, and D. And then Vaughn would get me A, B, C, and D. And then I would just kind of be like a bitch about it. But I was really excited when he got me that stuff. And like any woman, I love gifts. The fuck, you know? So the Big Bear. So this was like a life size. I mean, I don't know where he got it, but this motherfucker, this is one of the bears that probably cost like $200 or something crazy. So he got me that big, huge teddy bear. And I came home from school one day, not long after Valentine's Day. It was gone. My aunt had took the teddy bear, and I can only presume she threw it away. Never seen it again. Like, bro, you're sick. Like, I'm just thinking now that I have my daughter, and my daughter get a little boyfriend, she come home with her little Valentine's Day gifts. I just couldn't imagine going in her room when she wasn't home, taking it out, and then not even telling her what I did with it. Just her having to suck it up that someone bought you something, and then, bitch, I took it from you for no reason. Like, what was the reason? In my Cardi B voice, what was that reason that you took a gift that somebody else worked for? Probably their parents worked hard for that money. Like, it was just that sick, sadistic shit like that. And in a way, even though, like, I got bullied at school sometimes, school was my haven in a way, because I could see Vaughn, I could see my friends, I could just breathe a little bit. Then when I was at home and just unhappy. So then at some point during my high school career, I started to self-mutilate. Okay, it was also something I knew other people were doing, even friends. Okay, and I just wanted to stop. I knew what I was doing to myself wasn't right, and I would go home and I would get like a glass, just like we had these glasses, you know, like a glass, like a cup, but it was just all glass. I forgot I had my little drink. And I would throw it on the floor and I would break it, and I would take the sharpest piece and I would just whittle it myself. And I would do it because once I did it, I would focus on that pain, and then it would kind of be a relief. Just a relief of just everything. Yeah. So I told a teacher, it was this cool white teacher, and everyone liked him. And at the time, I was like, maybe, I was either 14, 15. It was around that age, 9th, 10th-ish. I don't know if this was 9th or 10th, but one of those. Damn, I gotta charge my phone. And I remember I told him, like, yo, I'm doing this. I want to stop. You know, I don't want to keep hurting myself. And I didn't know anything about being a mandated reporter. You know, I'm in the medical field now. So even at my job, I work with people with disabilities. I'm a mandated reporter. So friend or not, bitch, if I see you backhand that woman, I have to report you. If I see you just abusing her or you talking, I have to report you. So I didn't know anything about that. Teachers, doctors, just certain lines of work, you're a mandated reporter. If you work at McDonald's, you see him of a backhand the kid. I mean, if you want to, call CPS, but you're not a mandated reporter, okay? So when I told him, I'm like, look, I just want some help. He was like, damn. He was like, you could tell he was uncomfortable. Not like uncomfortable with me, but because he said, I have to tell the principal, and they have to tell your parents. And I said, no, please, I won't, why? No. And he said, if you really did something and hurt yourself for real, he said, and I knew and I didn't say anything, I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? I have to for your safety. Of course, I understand that now. I'll never forget this day. It was snowing. And he went to the principal. He told the principal. And she called my aunt. And we had a conversation, like me, her, and the principal. And I remember we were going to my grandparents' house. So my uncle's parents, ones I can still consider my grandparents, we were going to my grandparents' house. So, which was right up the street. And I remember I told my aunt. Now, obviously, I just told my teacher. This is all transpired in, 2-3 hours? I just told my teacher, who told the principal, who told my aunt. All of this happened in a short amount of time. So, obviously, I don't want no one else to be told that I'm self-mutilating, because I didn't even know it was going to spiral like that. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm just feeling all type of ways. So, I tell my aunt, like, please don't tell my grandparents. Like, don't tell them. So she's like, don't tell Miss Smith or whatever. So she's like, why? Because Miss Smith, hey, she used to be a teacher. She used to work in special education. That's cool. But if I want to tell her, let me tell her. I'm not ready to. I didn't even want you to know. So just respect that I don't want you to tell her. Do you know she drove? We went to my grandparents' house. I was like in the library or something and overheard her just straight telling her, bro, bitch, what is wrong with you? You don't have you don't even have no loyalty to your fucking niece. Your niece. You just don't care. You just couldn't wait. I'm in the fucking house yo, she's just a sadistic, evil bitch. And I'm telling you, she's gonna just burn in hell for the shit that she has done. It's one thing to do shit and it's yo, I fucked up, or God, I got this demon in me and I need help. That's one thing. It's another thing to just purposely go through hurting people just to hurt them, right? Because I just don't know any other reason she would do that. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't even wait till maybe you was over there one day and I wasn't, and I just wouldn't find out. She just was an asshole. And that's why I was fucking cutting myself. You feel me? Because I can't even trust the adults that I live with. Then I gotta go to school and deal with that bullshit. It's, being a kid is hard as fuck, because you have no control, man. You don't have control over your parents if they decide to keep you, give you up for adoption. You don't have any control if your dad's a child molester. You don't have any control if your mom's beating the fuck out you. You don't have any control if they're poor as fuck, if they're millionaires, if they're all assholes, if they're neglectful. You have no control over that as a child. And that's why it's so hard to be one. It's hard to be that little human. So after that, obviously, I just knew oh, bitch, you are not to be trusted. I will never. One, I knew if I didn't want my parents to know something serious, don't go to no motherfucking teacher. And two, don't tell this bitch nothing don't tell her nothing if you don't want it spread. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So, after that, I don't know if that was 9th or 10th grade. My high school years were just kind of tough. She did put me in therapy. And I remember first I went to this white lady. Sorry, y'all, Sinette. And we were talking, and she was real. You could tell she was laid back. And she damn, your aunt mad at you for this and that. Shit, what the hell? So I foolishly told my aunt some of the stuff she said. And when my aunt got the impression that, oh, this lady is not going to just back up everything that I say to Ashley or do towards her, we're going to find her someone else. Never seen that white bitch again. Then I went to this black woman. I just wasn't comfortable with her. And I wasn't comfortable with her because she definitely seemed like the type who was going to tell my aunt everything I said in the session. So I didn't open up to her. And she would tell my aunt, like, she's not opening up. She's not opening up. Yeah, I'm not opening up because my aunt didn't pick you, baby, because of your credentials. She's going to pick someone that she can control as well. So if she could say, hey, can you just kind of let me know what's going on with that? And you say yes, that's why she was keeping with her. That white lady didn't get 2 cents out of me, baby. She didn't get nothing out of me. She didn't get nothing but some surface shit. Because, bitch, I don't trust you. Period. So that didn't help. Therapy didn't help. I'll say that. Because I wasn't able to actually open up and feel like I can trust my therapist, which is actually quite sad. And it happens a lot more than you think with these therapists telling your parents everything that you tell them. Because they feel like, well, you know, kids, that patient, confident, that bullshit goes out the window. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't trust her. Nope. And I'm glad that I went with my gut feeling. The therapy didn't really help. I did eventually stop, self-mutilating. But there was just like a lot of control within my house. So, for example, like the computer. Somehow my aunt would know if I got on the computer. Like, let's say she'd be like, you can't get on the computer today. Because that's when like AIM and, remember like AOL AIM and ASL, age, sex, location and all that bullshit. So one of the girls that I had went to my private school with, she was talking to this dude. He was way older than us. I was, I'm in 8th grade. So whatever, 13 or something. And he was early 20s. Wow. It's crazy when you're an adult and you think about shit like, damn, whole time I was talking to a pedophile. You know what I'm saying? And I just thought he was a nice guy. Like, I don't remember anything real crazy we said, but it definitely was like, he would tell me like, yo, I drink and I smoked to get rid of like my problems. Like, that's why I had drink, like, because he said it felt good and stuff like that. So, yeah. I was talking to him. I did not know how big of a deal it was at the time to be 13, talking to someone that was 21 or something. And the girl would just lie. She would just come to school like, yeah, he took care of me and I was sick and he bought me soup. And then I would hit him up and he would be like, I didn't see that bitch. Like, it would be shit like that. But I had actually talked to him for like a few years, maybe like 2 years or something. I would talk to him on the instant messenger thing. But which was just so weird now to think like, bro, you was really talking to a little girl, bro. You was a grown man really talking to like an 8th grader. Shame on you. Anyway, so like my aunt, like, she would go through the computer and she would be like, oh, I know that you talked to so and so, I know that you did this. And I would just be like, how did she know? Like, yo, she would just get on the computer, and be like, oh, you talked to this person. So I think she had spyware on the computer. She also had some kind of spyware on the phone because one time I wasn't supposed to be doing nothing. I was in trouble. I wasn't supposed to be talking to nobody. And she says, oh, I said to her, like, can I go somewhere or can I call someone? I haven't been on the phone. But I forgot I fucked around and slipped up one day and called Vaughn, my high school sweetheart. We was talking, right? And so she was like, but I had forgot. But I had been being good. Like, for like 2 weeks or something, I really wasn't on the phone. But I slipped up that one day. And I was talking shit about my aunt to her. I mean, to Vaughn, to him, right? So I had asked my aunt one day, I'm like, can I go somewhere or do something and call somebody? She like, oh, I said, I haven't been using the phone. Like, I've been following the directions. She gonna say, oh, you didn't call Vaughn yesterday and you was talking about me negatively? How the fuck would she know that? How? I mean, I guess you could just say maybe she guessed. But it's just too much of a coincidence that every time I actually do something, bitch, you call it. You know, it's not like you fishing and like you're trying to see like maybe she wasn't on the phone, but let me see. No, I definitely was on the phone with him that day and I definitely was talking about her ass. So it's just like, damn, like, bro, just there was no privacy. Like, I couldn't really, kids were going to parties. I rarely did any of that shit in high school. I could probably count how many times I really did something in high school. Even the TV, like when I came home, my parents were home, there was locks on the TV. So as soon as you turn the TV on, I'm not talking about like the porn channels had the code you had to put in. I'm talking about, bitch, if I want to watch Fox 5 channel news, I had to put a code in. Didn't know what the fuck the code was. Of course I tried to crack it. Didn't know what it was. Then if I got in trouble, she would put a code on the computer. It was just like jail. Jail. So it was just like a lot of control. She was very controlling, you know, to the point where I'm like, I don't even know how I don't have like a tick fucking around with her. You know what I'm saying? Like, I couldn't imagine my daughter come home from school and like, damn, she can't even watch, you know, Nickelodeon or something real quick. She can't just, you know, catch a show. So it was just that type of control, and it just suffocated you. And, you know, like I said, I really had to go and talk to my uncle about a lot of stuff. And then once Vaughn had came into my life, all hell just broke loose, bro. They just hated him. And like I said, I can kind of see why, but at the same time, like, just let me live. It's high school. But as an adult, sometimes you can see things other people can't see. And me and Vaughn's, you know, experience did extend out of high school. And so, yeah. So I guess I'll get into a little bit about him, and then we'll end it, because it's a lot from that starting point with Vaughn. It takes off from there. So me and Vaughn was together, right? So I'm in 10th grade. We were together. But then he fucking cheated on me. So the first time, well, the only time that I know of, okay, that Vaughn had cheated on me, we were in high school. And it was one of them days, like, we was out of school. For whatever day we was out of school. And he had this childhood friend growing up, Tony. We're all still friends, right? So they lived in another neighborhood. So they got to, when school was out that day, they ran around in packs in their little neighborhood. I lived somewhere else. So I don't know what was going on. I forgot the whole story, but basically I remember there was a remote control. I think they measured his dick or something with the remote control. There was some dick measuring going on. There was infidelities. The nigga cheated, okay? He did something with her he wasn't supposed to. So then the next day at school, when I had came back, he had, I was just like, you know, what the fuck happened? Like, what the fuck is going on? And then I confronted the girl that he had cheated on me with. And so I tried to fight her and her friend. But nothing happened. The band teacher broke it up in 10 seconds. But, yeah. And I played the clarinet. What the fuck did he play? I gotta remember the instrument he played. One of them horn instruments. And then this bitch was a flag girl. So watch them flag girls, because she twirled her ass right onto my nigga. You heard me, okay? Pulled him right away with that flagpole. So, him and her was together. So we all three in band, and I gotta watch him, my ex, and his new bitch together. So... yeah, I'm gonna stop it. I gotta stop it there, because I want to keep going and going, because I just got so much to tell y'all. But let me stop it there, because I think I've went well over an hour, and I want to try to keep it at an hour. So we gonna leave it right there with Vaughn. We gonna leave it right there, and we gonna catch up. We gonna catch up next week, baby, on the bullshit. Okay, on the bullshit, baby. Okay. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in. I know this one may have seemed like it's kind of all over, but it's like when I sit here and then I'm like, oh shit, this happened and that happened. And so I'm trying to like tell you guys in the best order I can. But all of those things that I just told you, all of that shit did happen to me, you know, high school and, you know, between 9th and 10th grade. So yeah, we'll go more into the 10th grade. That was mostly kind of 9th grade-ish. We'll go more into the 10th grade, because that's when I met Vaughn. That's when all the drama really just started popping off with me and his family. Just the rivals, the breakups, the makeups. It was just a lot. So yeah, so thank you so much for tuning in. I love you guys. Thank you for the support. Catch you next week.